What is up, everybody? The Red Dragon here, and we are taking another look at the F-35. So a lot of people the other day, whenever I created a video and I was talking about flying the F-35, they were asking why I always used Heatseekers and never used guided missiles. Well, honestly, I just unlocked guided missiles, so I do try them out in this video, and this is one of the first times I've gotten to use them, and they're pretty decent. I like them all right, and throughout the course of this, I'll talk about the pros and the cons. The first con you can see right here, you saw that it was kind of jumping back and forth. If you have two vehicles that are close to one another, it does tend to want to jump back and forth, so it's hard to stay locked on one target if a couple of pieces are nearby. Now, another thing to keep in mind with the guided missile is once you acquire a target, it doesn't necessarily mean that anybody's in that target. You'll see right here, I target and I'm targeting that like Bobcat or whatever, and I see that guy and I think he's moving after it, and then I think he backs off or he dies or something, and I go ahead and fire the missile off anyway. But the point is, the guided missile does lock on to any ground armor, no matter if somebody's in it or not. So it does take a while to reload, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to just fire off your missile as soon as you have something locked on. Watch that target for a moment, and if you see it firing or moving, then go ahead and take that shot, and then that way you're not going to miss your target. But a lot of times what you have to do is you have to get good at firing off the missile and then automatically switching over to your machine gun and then trying to finish it up, especially if you're trying to hit a tank or something else like that. With the F-35, I love the hover ability with this jet. And with choppers or jets or really anything, I prefer to have the F-35, honestly. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people say, it's so hard to turn and things like that. But honestly, if you pull back on the brake and you put it in hover mode, and you can do a pretty quick turnaround with the F-35. So I'm really starting to enjoy it. The thing to remember when firing the machine gun with the jets is, put out a stream of tracers, a stream of bullets. Did you see how close that jet came to almost hit me? Put out that stream and then just watch the tracers, and it's just really just waiting for the enemy vehicle just to fly into that stream of bullets. And then once you get that, then you just try to follow the stream. Here we are, another ground target. You'll see that the guided missile, even if it hits directly, it a lot of times won't disable or do that much damage to armor. So that's one reason why I'm not a big fan of the guided missiles. Check that out. I got a roadkill, so that guy must have been getting out to repair his tank or something. But I filled him up with bullets, but that thing wasn't, it's hard to take down. But so anyway, as far as the Heatseeker goes, I do like the guided missiles, I believe, probably better than the Heatseekers, especially if there's not a lot of air targets that's happening on the map. And on this particular map, on this particular side, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of enemy jets in the air. Now, if they had a lot of good jet pilots, it might be completely different. But in this particular game, I pretty much had free reign, and I stayed up for long bouts without anybody really giving me any trouble in the jet while trying to take me out. So I really enjoy games like that. You'll see right there that I unlocked the beam scan, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And what that does is it actually allows you to lock on to targets much quicker. So you're going to see me target some armor here in just a few seconds. First, I'm going to shoot down this jet. Here you'll see that I'm just putting that stream out and just trying to let that jet just keep on flying into that stream. So it seems like common sense, but a lot of people have trouble with it. And it does take some practice getting used to. And here I am using the roadway for my jet. You got to do whatever you can. One thing that I did need to mention earlier is just remember that when you're in the guided missile view, you can still spot targets on the ground through that view. You can spot targets in any view whatsoever. So always press that back button, and I mean, it just lights up targets on the ground for you and your teammates. Always spot, spot, spot. But you do see with the beam scanning that it does lock on to targets much faster. But again, if you're going to do any damage, once you fire off that target, be sure to pull out your machine gun and try to finish up the job, because more than likely the guided missile is not going to finish it. I am looking forward to trying out the TV missile. That'll be my next big unlock, and I want to get it for the chopper too. So I got a lot of work to do, but I'm going to try to get it in. I also need to do some of the assignments. I've been kind of slacking. I haven't done. I've done like one assignment, and that was on accident. I didn't even do it on purpose. So glad these jets can take a beating though and keep on flying. Because if it weren't for that, y'all have seen me run into so many posts and trees. But thankfully, DICE is a little generous with the health of the jet when that goes. So that does it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you should check out the guided missile yourself. No matter what I say or what any other commentator says out there, if there's an object, try it out. See how you like it, because you may find something that you actually adore and I don't. It's okay. It doesn't mean either of us are wrong. So check it out. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Thanks for watching.